If you're thinking about learning how to fly, then you should aim to find a plane that's easy to fly. If you can learn how to fly with a plane that's easier, you can quickly adapt your skills and then master on harder planes. These are the 10 easiest planes to fly. But before we jump into our list, be sure that you have subscribed and hit the bell icon to keep yourself informed with amazing videos. With that done, let's jump into our incredible list. Beechcraft Skipper. The Beechcraft Model 77 Skipper is a two-seat, fixed tricycle-gear general aviation airplane, originally designed for flight training but also used for touring and personal flying. The Skipper was conceived with the design goals of creating a low-cost primary trainer with an emphasis on ease of maintenance and low operating costs. The Skipper was a well-built low-wing, T-tail trainer aircraft that turned out to be almost too easy to fly. Once you have your license, you may appreciate the ease of flying a Skipper, but flight instructors complained that for student pilots, the easy landings and minimal adversarial of this aircraft don't provide enough training opportunities for the students. Pilots who get their hands on a Beech Skipper appreciate the outstanding side visibility, along with the improved forward visibility during climb thanks to a sloped nose design. Only 312 planes were produced before production stopped. Most of the production run was initially delivered to Beechcraft's flight school network, where they were used as primary trainers. A handful of Skippers are still in use as trainers. Others are in the hands of private owners who use them as touring aircraft. Piper Super Cub 18. The Piper PA-18 Super Cub is a two-seat, single-engine monoplane. Introduced in 1949 by Piper Aircraft. In close to 40 years of production, over 10,000 were built. Super Cubs are commonly found in roles such as bush flying, banner towing, and glider towing. The Super Cub is a bush plane at its best and easiest to fly. This aircraft handles beautifully with quick, agile responsiveness that lets you take off and land in all sorts of terrain. Its combination of ruggedness, handling and power makes it a favorite of pilots who want to easily explore remote areas where short field and soft field takeoff and landing capabilities are a must. Champion Citabria 7 ECA. The Citabria is a light single-engine, two-seat, fixed conventional gear airplane which entered production in the United States in 1964. Most planes that are used as trainers were built specifically with primary flight training in mind, but Champion had a broader vision with the Citabria. This plane is also designed and marketed as an acrobatic trainer. As such, the plane meets the more rigorous force loading standards and can handle extremes from plus 5G to minus 2G. That's much more forgiving than a normal aircraft. The heavier weight handles wind well, and the spring gear design is forgiving of hard student pilot landings. When the Citabria was introduced, it was the only airplane being commercially produced in the United States which was certified for aerobatic. Cessna 172 Skyhawk. Every student pilot knows that the Skyhawk is a quintessential trainer and is one of the most popular planes in the world for a reason. It is also the best-selling aircraft of all time, and according to a survey taken by flight schools around the world, it has also been voted the easiest to fly. Although originally designed as a personal plane, it has rapidly gained popularity over the years as a trainer. According to many pilots, the C-172 is faster and more stable than its predecessor, making it more suited to cross-country flying. If it's positioned in the air and disturbed by turbulence or an accidental touch of the controls, it has a strong tendency to return to its original position. Such a large margin for error is what makes this plane so popular. Its benefit as a trainer also comes from its stall characteristics. The C-172 has a much more pronounced stall than other planes on this list, so the student can actually feel it and react accordingly. Cirrus SR22. In terms of safety, the Cirrus SR22 is in a class of its own. Boasting unique features such as airbag seatbelts and an inbuilt parachute, this plane really stands out from the crowd. Starting production in 2001, the SR22 is the newest plane on this list. As a result, it has many modern instruments fitted as standard and appeals to a much more tech-savvy generation of pilots. It incorporates flight envelope protection, a safety feature that prevents the pilot from putting the aircraft into an undesirable aircraft state, such as a stall or spin, but even without this it is nearly impossible to spin and has a very stable design. This stability is partly due to its large wings, which gives it excellent landing characteristics and allows the pilot to really finesse their landing technique. Piper PA-28. Famously forgiving of errors, both on the ground and whilst airborne, the PA-28 is much less twitchy in the air than other training aircraft. With less sensitive controls, it's much easier for the pilot to maintain an altitude without the need for constant elevator trimming. But the PA-28's landing performance is what makes this plane among the easiest to fly. Less prone to ballooning than its competitors, the PA-28 is so stable that it will practically land itself. When the pilot inevitably does a hard landing, the suspension cushions the blow. Cessna 152. The C-152 has trained pilots for decades, and years after its production has ceased, it continues to be a popular choice for pilots looking for an unchallenging vehicle. Lighter and less stable than its successor, the 172, its flaws act as valuable learning points for student pilots still getting used to the feel of flying. The Cessna 150 and 152, with their tricycle gear configuration, are so easy to land that Cessna's marketing team gave them the nickname Landomatic. In the air, a slightly pronounced stall gives the pilot time to see, feel, and correct an impending stall prior to actually entering a stall. The 150-152 series of aircraft is the third most popular model, ranked only behind the Piper Cherokee and the Cessna 172. Ercoupe 415C. A beginner's aircraft doesn't get any easier or better than the Ercoupe. In fact, this is one of the first planes other pilots will recommend when you ask for easy-to-fly options. The Ercoupe was designed specifically with safety and ease of flying in mind. It is said to be nearly foolproof and to keep pilots out of trouble. A trailing link tricycle landing gear setup smooths out and softens landings, while a limit on the elevator up travel reduces your stall potential, keeping you safer while in flight. The Ercoupe was built with a unique car style on the ground steering setup. Rather than using rudder pedals, the pilot simply steers with the yoke like you would a car's steering wheel. Apart from the simplicity, the low price tag will put a smile on your face.
Wow. Perfect.
Diamond DA-40 Star. The DA-40 Star is one of the most fun to fly. With excellent visibility from its bubble canopy, the DA-40 is a favorite among the general aviation world. Reportedly light and easy to control, the DA-40 is essentially a powered glider, and apparently, if the engine did fail, its rate of descent would be lower to prevent damages. DA-40's safety record far better than most aircrafts, and statistically has only one fatal accident per 1,000 airplane years. The plane is very difficult to stall and easy to recover from. Most variants of the DA-40 are fitted with the Garmin G1000 and an autopilot system, which are incredibly useful for both student and instructor pilots to reduce workload and increase capacity. J-3 Piper Cub. The Piper Cub was first produced in 1938 and was one of the earliest aircraft designed primarily for training purposes. Although 85 years old, this iconic plane is still flown today because of its simplicity. The plane is so simple and has such gentle handling characteristics that pilots get to experience aviation in its purest form, without the added distractions that come with excess avionics. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and then subscribe. You can also watch other videos from this channel by clicking on those popping videos.